Hi Dee. I seen your Heron and want to show you how I experiment to find the right colors with my solution jars. And somebody mentioned some of my skin tones were here. I found they're not quite gray enough for the Heron. They're mostly on the peachy side. However, my Elvis, but he's done in Magic Carpet. He's done in equal parts of the red, yellow, and blue in Magic Carpet. This is pretty good, like up in here for your Heron. And then I looked at this grayer one that I had done to do Canada Geese. And what this is just equal parts of chestnut brown and charcoal gray. But that's too dark and too brown gray. So I'm going to look for something kind of in between. So I take my swatches out and then I'll kind of narrow, I'll just do something like this to kind of show where I'm going from in here. So I know I'm going to want chestnut brown and charcoal gray mixed together. So I'm going to do that in a little side cup. So I'm going to take a teaspoon of chestnut brown or charcoal gray, teaspoon of chestnut brown, and also I'm going to see what it's like if I use a teaspoon. Now I haven't tried this and it's going to be a new color. I'm sure it'll be good for something, but this is what you do. I already have a teaspoon in there. Hold on. So equal parts of these three dyes. And then let's see what happens. So to me, I can see it's on the brownie side. So I'm going to take it and put it in this bigger cup. It looks like there's too much red, but it's too early to tell. So I'm going to take some boiling water and pour it in there. And then I'm going to see. We might now have a new skin tone, if nothing else. So I'm going to move this out of the way. So you see how I set up there. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to dip dye a piece. So I have some wool soaking here. So if I just dip dye it in here, that'll give me all the gradations. And then I'll be able to see. See? So it's too pink. Okay. So I know that, but I am going to continue with this piece and just. So in there I have 3 teaspoons. So this is going to be a dark piece. However, it's not the same as any of my skin tones. So I got a feeling this is going to be another skin tone. Okay. So now that I see that this is too red, I'm going to formulate this again with just a half a teaspoon of the red orange. Are you getting my drift here? So a half a teaspoon, let's see where that is. Quarter teaspoon, half a teaspoon. Okay, and then 1 teaspoon of each of the others. 1 teaspoon and 1 teaspoon. Okay, so now I can already see in the cup that it's better. So I'll add some boiling water. Another trick you can use is to have a coffee filter and stick that in there because it's a similar color to. Okay, so take a coffee filter and go in and out. Okay, so now I'm still on the red side, I'm thinking, but again, perfect skin color. So if anybody's taking note, check these out for skin colors. So I'm thinking that still again is too red. Okay, So instead of, well, I'll just dip one that I'll know, and I'll keep them in the cup. And then I will make some swatches. Okay, so this, see? Let's see it compared to the one before. See? So now we have more skin tones. This is what you do. And if you can just dip dye the bottom, put a little acid in there, and it'll dip dye the bottom. That's a lot, but anyway, we want to get it darker at the bottom so you can see. So now I know that the gray and the brown are going to take very, very little. So now I'm going to reduce again. So I'm just going to give this a little stir. You know me, my stir sticks. So see how it's getting. So when you do this method, you'll get a gradation, like an 8 value, if you take your time and don't do it on a video like me. So I'm not putting the tip in until this is pretty well clear. This one fell in. So this one needs a bit of acid. So again, I'm going to do it again. But I'm going to reduce the amount of red. Let me just rinse this a little bit. Okay. So I'm going down to a 1/4 teaspoon. Just hope this makes, I'm probably going to just, what about I do an 1/8? I'm trying to think here. That's, I want to see what it looks like at a 1/4. I'm going to run out of these little swatches, but I have bigger pieces. So we'll do 1/4 and 1 and 1. It's a dark solution, but you know, for purposes of the video here, it's quick and it's easy. And I would be writing this down, and I'll put some boiling water in there, and I think I have another swatch. So I'm still seeing a lot of red. So this swatch that I'm going to do now, it's still 10 grams, but it's why it's a, let's see, how many of these do I have? Are me talking to myself here? Okay, here's a bigger one, but I should probably put the acid in. I don't always put the acid in right away. I'm kind of weird about that. So this one is a wider piece, so there. Oh, that's pretty. So then I'm seeing, I think I need more gray. So there, this is quite pretty. So this is how you invent your colors, everybody. Still don't have the right color yet. I think it needs, I need more gray and less brown. But you see what's happening here? Okay, so let's put this one aside, and we'll do one more by reducing the amount of brown. So let's see, I just need to grab a container. Here's one. So let's do a teaspoon of gray. The sky's the limit with what you can do here. I hope this is recording. So, and then I'm just going to put half a teaspoon. So that was a teaspoon of gray. We're going to do a half a teaspoon of the brown. Let's see what happens. And then we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon. Running out, that's why I'm reducing here. Okay. Oh, this is looking good. So then again, we have a brand new color, guys. Now, can I dip in this? It have to be a little harder. Let's see what's going on in there. See, it's still reddish, but a lot more gray. See the difference? Whole new, another skin tone. The sky's the limit. I can't possibly make cards for the variations of skin tones. But now I could just continue here without, oh, this is nice. But it isn't right for your Heron. But it's, I can see so many applications where it would be good for. I'm going to go down slower so we can see. We get a little at the top and dark on the bottom. It's getting closer though. Now, I would suggest you use coffee filters instead of all these swatches. But for me, I'm going to probably end up making swatch sets from them for my own personal views. But I can do that just by keeping a strip of the dip dye here, and then I pretty well know. So that's what you do there. So now that I see it's still too brown, but put your fingers in there, Lucy. That would be very smart. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. I don't know if you can see that. It's far closer than it was before. Still a little on the reddish side. So I'm wondering if I even need that red. So let's check something else out here. This is quite nice. So this is going to be good for lots of things as an add-on to skin tone. It's just, the sky's the limit. So let's try something else. One more. Okay, so let's do the charcoal gray. Half a teaspoon of charcoal gray. Half a teaspoon of brown. 1 teaspoon of charcoal. Let's see what this gives us. Ooh, I like that. I can tell already it's going to be pretty good, and it might just be what you need. I should have went with my instincts in the beginning. So let's see. Let's see here. Let's forget. I don't have as much dye in there, so it isn't going to be as dark. Oh, this is nice. Can you see that? That's really good. It's getting closer, but of course you would want the really light part of this, which is going to come at the top. At the very top. So you would go use the skin tone cards to make the really light values, and just maybe start, if you're doing a dip, just start with a total of 1 teaspoon like this, and this is going deeper, and this is a pretty cool color. It's probably hard to see. It's almost all ready. But this is the closest of all to your Heron without going. And then again, you could try the brown with half the gray. But this looks pretty good in a lighter form. I don't know if you can see that. Whoops. I can't put the Heron on, but this looks pretty good. When you squeeze it, it takes some of the water out. So you see? That's how you play around with your colors. I'm using swatches. It's kind of expensive to do, but I'm used to going broke with it. But you could use yarn, and it would give you the same amount. But this dip dye, and let me show you this. I'm just gonna give it a stir, and that will. It's almost all taken up. This dip dye, if it were lighter, would give you all the tones that you want. Can you see that? It doesn't really show properly. I can see through the camera, but this would be perfect in a heron.